I'm working. Look at me. Look at me. I'm working.
We're opening the video with a new revelation.
First time today.
No.
All right.
Y'all know Eddie actually works because, like,
2 o'clock. I'm done for the day.
I wouldn't hire him if he didn't do work and didn't do good work. Because we all do good work.
I thought you hired me because you like.
Just look at this. Look at it. Wow. Yeah. That's that YouTube fake zoom in thing. Anyway, we're getting this thing back together because it's Christmas tree drags probably the day this comes out. Probably. Not 100% sure on the timeline of when this video is going to be released because between now and, well, the end of this video, we're going to get this thing back on the dyno. We have completed modifications to the manifolds, and we'll show that later. In fact, I'm going to film something with them, and then I'll post it later if it actually works. Yeah, or maybe I can put it in the end of this video if the thing goes on the dyno and makes less boost. But yeah, it gives us a little bit more controllable boost. But anyway, today's video, somewhat final-ish assembly on Reno's car. So let's get into it. So before we get into today's video, I wanted to let you know that it is sponsored by Chomps, and these things are high quality protein snacks that you can literally take anywhere. They're great for traveling because they're small, and 10 grams of protein per stick, 0 grams of sugar, which is great for me, and my kids love them. And I usually give my kids the Chomplings, which are like, they're slightly smaller than half because they're 4 grams of protein and 0 grams of sugar. And with me trying to be a responsible parent, you know, I'm trying to keep as much sugar out of their diet as I possibly can. So that's what I do. And it's great because when Chomps reached out to us, we actually already knew the brand and we used the brand, like I just said, with my kids. So my favorite Chomps meat stick is actually the sea salt beef stick. And then these are probably my second, the just original beef sticks. I'm having to use one hand because the other hand's holding the phone with the camera. I could get CJ to hold the camera for me since, you know, CJ's a little wounded right now. These things are awesome, and I buy them by the big box. I keep them on my desk, and I always have to worry about Eddie stealing them from me.
No, I never steal it from your dad.
But if you guys want to get yourself some Chomps, go to chomps.com/winwithksr15, and you can get 15% off of your order. Thanks again to Chomps for sponsoring this video. We're going to get Reno's car back together. Of course, right when I start filming, you got to go make a bunch of racket. Did you steal my gasket? I was going to talk about your cool gasket you designed, and you just stole it from me.
I would put this one on, and then you'd use one in the package.
Fine. I guess that would be me holding you up, wouldn't it?
Well, and this says Cometic on it.
Is that who made it?
No.
So, if you guys hadn't been seeing, we had just been using high temp RTV on Reno's Nova for the exhaust gaskets because it's got a unique flange on it. Now I thought I just scarred that enough to open it. That got her open. So Eddie took the flange that we had made by our buddies over at Performance Driven Design, and he had them cut us a copper super soft gasket. See if you get a gold star, Eddie.
I'm gonna find out right now.
Oh yeah, that lines up real good. Now, hopefully, what?
I put this in the wrong way.
It lines up good over here on this one. So if it doesn't line up over there, you're doing something wrong.
No, the EGT is hitting the brake line.
What?
Like the EGT goes around the brake line.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
have to put it in after.
Cool. So if you need a custom big gasket, you can hit up Comedic and get
Yeah.
your own.
I literally like paint and design this, obviously in CAD.
Yep.
And then he just sent me the DXF file for the pattern, and then I looked at it and I was like, "Yep, that's right." And I sent it to my buddy Brendan at Comedic, and he was like, "Yep." A couple days, it was done.
On its way to us.
Yep.
So we've had those on the shelf for a week or so, I guess. They got here just after we went down and assembled it to go down to the track rental that we did. Anyways, we're gonna get back to work. All right, so back here in the back, Reno and his wife are working on doing something with LEDs. But Eddie's been up here installing our freshly anodized pieces, which there's a little bit of different color. I don't know if there's a way around that. You know, I'm not an anodizing expert.
Me neither. Not really an anything expert, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're putting the spark plugs back in because it's easier to do that with the manifolds off on this thing. This thing, we had it where it was medium difficulty getting the plugs in and out. And then we had that header shield put on, and it kind of made it a little bit extra difficult
Yeah.
to get the plugs in and out. But
I blame you.
I mean,
No, I think I was the one that suggested it.
the header shield idea was yours, and it does work really, really good.
Yeah.
But the manifold design and turbo placement, that was kind of on me.
Yep.
There's not much else place you can put in these cars, unless
I think we should have put them down there.
like
And cut out
farther
some of that.
farther down back and cut out the floor. But the floor's already so short in these things because there's just not a lot of room. I mean, there's the option of if we took this bar out, we could have put them like, you know, where the face of
Oh,
them
yeah.
was here, like kind of somewhere in that area. But then that's still, I don't know, still would have not been easy to get the spark plugs in and out.
That's why nitrous is better.
What? Have you lost your mind?
No, it is better.
Nitrous is better for nothing.
Nitrous is better.
No way.
Yeah. See, and if you have nitrous, you don't need a CO2 tank. You just use the nitrous tank to shift it.
You can do that. Yep, you can split off the nitrous.
And for the parachute.
So, anyways, we had the fuel rails done. We had our custom fitting here. That's our fuel pressure adapter mount. It tightens up only in one spot, so the fuel pressure sensor is right where it needs to be. We had this piece done. We had this piece done. The methanol fuel tank, which will go on. I guess you're pretty close to putting that on.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the headers and turbos on first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like you start in and work your way out.
Oh, have you test fit your shock mounts?
Oh, the shock sensor mount? No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
yeah, shock sensor mounts.
Because that's dependent on the turbos as well.
Yeah, okay.
But they are over there.
All right, so that's for something else. Y'all see that later. That's for the chassis side. Shock sensor mount. Where'd the rest of this one?
Somewhere over there.
Uh-oh.
You lost it, didn't you?
I didn't mean to, but hey, there's a wrench on the ground.
That one's for 1 inch and that one's for like 1.25 inch, I think.
Yep. Maybe we'll put those on the website. Something that people can buy if you don't have a 3D printer yourself. Super lightweight, and they should be more than strong enough for locating and mounting a shock sensor. So that's kind of exciting. All right, I'm gonna get a time lapse going, and you can get some work done.
Okay.
Which you're working even while I'm talking, but maybe I'll actually lend a hand.
I can't stop every time you talk. We're getting anything done.
Big facts. All right, here we go. Oh, the vent?
Yeah, the vent cap.
Sweet.
You guys have that on top of them, right?
Yeah, we welded a
But it's
little bone,
fabricated.
but... Ooh, she's back together.
Yeah.
Should we go dyno?
Yeah, let's go.
See if my tricky works?
Let's. We're gonna find out.
And then we can actually finish wiring the headlights and
Yeah.
bumper tomorrow.
Yeah, we're waiting on the trim piece, which is over there.
Oh yeah, we did.
Painting.
We did
So
paint
that'll
that.
go back on the same time the bumper does, and then the headlight trim will go on and all
Yeah.
that.
Got the new Holly headlights that look like
Yeah.
stock ones, but they are LEDs. So
Those do look better.
yeah,
Yeah.
we agreed with y'all, but you know, when the customer never asked to replace them, we didn't. And then when he saw you guys picking on him, he's like, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's change them. Oh, I got to show you guys his trunk. So I don't know how to turn it on. So this is all LED lights, and it's the Hawaiian flag. So, because Reno is obviously from Hawaii, got a little extra deal back there. We might have to convince him that this isn't going to fly.
Yeah,
That's going to break off with a Christmas tree hanging in it, because
100%
this thing gonna go 170 mile an hour.
Yeah, 100% break it off.
But that's serious right there. I mean, it's got a power bank in the trunk. Like,
Show it?
no, it's
No.
there's a lot of wires in there.
In case anybody from OSHA is looking.
There's a lot of wires in the trunk. But
No, I think it's
anyway,
great.
let's go dyno. Oh, we got something else right here too. Oh, maybe that's the controller for that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let's go make some noise. Got this thing loaded back up on the dyno, and we decided that we really wanted to start extra low boost. So we unhooked the blow-off valves so that hopefully these pop off if it does try to make mega boost. Hopefully the blow-off valves will vent it, because one of the things we talked about was possibly doing like one of the E-gates on the charge pipes, you know, to vent it over there if we can't keep control on the wastegate side. So, yes, I've already warmed it up. Double checked that our fuel pressure is good. Double checked we don't have any leaks. We do have a rear main seal leak we're gonna have to address, and that's a bummer. That's a big bummer, actually. But, gonna make a pull. Hopefully this is like super low boost. And then if it is, I'll plug the blow-off valves back in, and then from there we will try to start tuning her back up to get to the racetrack. Here we go. All right, let's do another one. Might do this one a little shorter just because all I'm doing this time is trying to clean up some of the EGTs. We had a couple that were cold, a couple that were maybe a little hot. So plus a little fuel, minus a little fuel. But now that we're in an area where we can manage it, 900-ish horsepower, we'll do this, and then maybe we'll plug the blow-off valves back in and see what happens once we do that. Here we go. slow, but that's easily fixed. All right, let's try this thing with 5 pounds of dome pressure, 5, and the blow-off valves unhooked. Kind of just probably what we would do at the track, because with everything sealed up, obviously it's making way too much turbo speed. I don't know. This thing's throwing me for a loop, if I'm being honest. And you know, that's what you get with me on this channel, which even though it may not put me in the best light, I don't know. Whatever I'm trying to say. Anyways, 5 pounds of dome pressure, blow-off valves open, just to see if we can make another few PSI of boost so we can play with it at the track and not just be on the base setting no matter what we do. So here we go. Good info. All right, let's check out what that did with 5 PSI of dome pressure on the whole run. So picked up the bottom a bunch, which you can see it kind of flashes the converter a lot harder, which, so this dotted line right here is 6,000. And you can see it's getting up fairly close to it, but down here at like 100 miles an hour, which will be around where the gear change is. So it'll be up on the converter good and hard. And, you know, obviously from, let's actually be scientific here. Down here at 100 miles an hour, that change netted us 431 to 680. So 250 horsepower almost. So, oh no, wait a second, 431 to 744. 680 is the torque. So that is 310 horsepower at 100 miles an hour. So that should be pretty sizable difference. And I'm gonna admit, like, this thing, like, you know, guys, you guys know Eric worked for Borg Warner. He looked at the wastegate sizing. I mean, he was an engineer, so he's like got that engineering brain type thing. He doesn't think it makes sense what it's doing, and maybe we could change the turbo exhaust housings and possibly find some, you know, some slower turbo response. But right now these things just, they get lit up and they are trying to make all the boost. So possibly turbo exhaust housings, make them a little larger, or we just put a E-gate on the charge pipe, like maybe in the Y, which kind of stinks because we just had that anodized. Anyway, we'll deal with that. But it's just kind of, this thing's in like a weird space with, you know, some combination of wastegate priority versus the turbo sizing versus the engine efficiency, stuff that's just different than combinations we've had before. And this thing's just wanting to be rowdy all the time. You know, it's a good problem to have, kind of, in a way, but I'm also trying to get this thing where Reno can develop into it. You know, that's just kind of my personal deal. Like, if this was mine and it just made big mega power all the time and tried to run 750s everywhere, I'd figure it out. But putting someone that has not been in a car with this much power, you know, it's tough to, I just can't wrap my head around doing that for somebody when I want to creep them into it. So we will see what this does on the track tomorrow. But anyways, we're going to see what this does on the track, you know, in a couple days when we get down to the Christmas tree drags. But that's going to do it for this video. See you guys tomorrow.